Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Bubba's Garage. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Right here today on Bubba's Garage, we're going to replace the 5,000 BTU air conditioner on our 2020 Runaway Venturist. Guys, it's currently hot right here in Texas, 103 degrees. Got a lot of water standing by. We've never replaced or swapped out a air conditioner on a Runaway at all. So this is our first time. Now keep in mind, this is a 2020 Venturist, so it's actually made out of composite. So if you're doing a wood version, things might vary a little bit. Now again, this is the first time, so definitely stick around to the latter parts of the video. We'll give you our feedback and some of the tips and tidbits of things that we learned during this this replacement. We got the exact same unit here as we do inside the rig, so that's going to make it really easy because we don't have to make too many modifications. It's pretty much going to be a direct swap and replacement. But if you want to know how to replace your air conditioner for your 2020 or older model Runaway camper, this is definitely the video for you. First up, one of the things I want to note is before you go to removing the unit out of your camper or whatsoever, first thing you want to do is probably test the new one and just make sure you don't have any problems with the new one. We're going to plug this in. Once we plug it in, I'm going to turn the fan on, but I'm also going to test, I don't want just to test low. I'm going to test the low fan speed as well as the high fan speed, and then I'm going to crank the AC all the way up and just make sure that it cools down. And if it does that, I'm going to shut it all down and we're going to move over to the rig and start taking the other one out.
Wake up, step into the world outside. The future never looks so bright. Can't you hear it calling us? Let go, leave all of your cares behind.
We'll let that run for about 15 minutes, 30 minutes to make sure it's going to cool down. But I can honestly tell you it's already cooling right now. But then again, like I said, it is approximately 100. It's supposed to be 103 degrees today. Right now it's at 97, so it's not bad. It feels pretty good. Pretty good. We're going to let that run for just a few more minutes to make sure that we look good there. We're going to go ahead and take a peek at the rig and see what we need to do next. Before you go too far, you definitely want to make sure that you remove your AC cover with these little tabs here. And after you get the cover off, set that aside because you're going to end up reusing it as long as it will fit your new replacement unit. You need a Phillips screwdriver here, and we're going to remove the tabs that hold the cover on off of the air conditioner.
Dreaming of tomorrow, soaking up the sun. We can sit and talk about it, or we could run away. We don't have to stay.
Take your cover, set all your clips aside as well as the screws and hardware because you're going to need to reinstall those on your other unit once you get it installed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the rig. It's got some silicone seal around it that we're going to need to take off and a cover plate on the bottom of the air conditioner. Let me show you. So if you'll look really tight along the edges of the air conditioner all the way around, there is a silicone seal that you're going to need to cut. That's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to slice it up a little bit just to be able to free it up, and then we'll move down to the bottom and I'll show you that cover plate. So that part's not too bad. You just want to be careful about going too far. I mean, our rig is painted, but it doesn't matter which one it is. You don't want to run your razor blade across there and end up scratching or gouging your camper. So just take your time. You're probably not going to get it right the first time, and I guarantee you this is not exactly it. There's probably a little bit more that we need to do. But let me show you that cover plate. So underneath the air conditioner, you have a cover plate. There's a cover plate. If you notice, there's two levels here. The top one is a cover plate. It's got two screws on it. We're going to go ahead and take these screws off and see if we can't wiggle this thing loose.
Let's go. Dive into the deep blue sky. Come with me to paradise. Can't you hear it calling us?
So we're going to wedge it out. I got a flat screwdriver. We're going to pry up between it and see if we can't work it loose. There we go. Might have to peel some of this, and I'm sure we're going to have to clean it up once we get further along. But right now, let's just get this little fella off. Hey, welcome to my V-Series. Next up is we're going to do the inside. Now, I've already pulled this wire. This wire was up behind this bracket. I'll talk more about this bracket here in a little while, but I just pulled it out of the way. Now, if you pay close attention, right here on the bottom, you have another seal plate. Right here, we're going to take these Phillips screws out here, and we're going to take these nuts out here. This is what the air conditioner is actually sitting on.
Dreaming of tomorrow, soaking up the sun. We can go find the magic. Yeah, we could run away, 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 away. We don't have to stay, we could run away. Away, 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 away. Oh, we could run away.
All right, we're going to set that and the two Phillips screws aside because guess what? We're going to be reinstalling these here in just a little bit. Now we need to get the wiring harness out of the way. Now notice I'm not using any power tools, and it's just because I want to be safe here. This is actually going through the aluminum as well into the composite, so I want to be really careful. I want to be able to re-put this back in its place, and I don't want to strip anything out. So I'm going to just take my time undoing each one of these P-clips all the way around, all the way to the power plug. Next up, if you'll pay close attention, there is a Phillips screw here, just like there was on the bottom. And then there's another one up on this side as well. That should be about it. Now, if I did a good job cutting my silicone, I shouldn't have to work it too much, but we'll see. I think it's ready to come out, babe. So I'm gonna wiggle it, jiggle it a little bit. Oh yeah, it's definitely coming out fairly easily. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's pull this out and we'll take it and set it on the bench. A couple of things I wanted to point out on the units just real quick, just to kind of so you're aware of it when you get ready to do this, is this is the unit that came out. This is the new unit that's gonna go in. Let me turn this around. So what I wanted to point out was the bracket that's on the top. Now, the new unit comes with a bracket we're going to be able to put right there on top. We're going to mount that down, and that's where your little screw was at. But if you'll notice right here along the side, this here is siliconed, right? And you got this little spacer, I'll call it right now, here. Over here, we don't have that just yet. So here shortly, I'm going to show you how to install that. I'm going to show you how to clean that up and get it just like this. Right now, we need to get over to the unit and start cleaning up all that silicone. So what you got is you got your silicone all the way around the top, and this is some pretty thick stuff. They didn't mess around sealing this thing up. We need to clean off all of this all the way around, get it nice and clean, and yeah, that's the fun part. Welcome to Bubba's Garage.
You never know where you might find sunny days are coming up. Tomorrow, soaking up the sun. We can sit and talk about it. Oh, we could run away, 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 away. We don't have to stay, we could run away. Away, 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 away.
Cleaning the silicone wasn't actually that bad. It went really, really quick. Next up, we're going to take and put this bracket on the top of our unit. It's actually pretty easy. Again, this bracket came with the new unit. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the ones with the holes are pointed towards the back. Just line up your holes inside of it, and it comes with the screws. So it's pretty self-explanatory and straightforward. I'm sure the instructions in the manual probably tell you a little bit about doing this, but this is Bubba's Garage. We don't really follow instructions, so.
We could run away, run away. Let's go. Dive into the deep blue sky.
All right, now that we got that installed, the reason you put this on is because that's what keeps the unit from falling out. Now, you remember that angle bracket that we took apart from the inside? We're still going to reinstall that, but I'm going to hang tight just a moment until after we've pushed the unit into the window or the cutout. And the reason for that is because I need to make sure that the screws on the bottom of the bracket as well as the screws on the top line out, because you are going to have to self-tap the screws on the bottom of this unit. And I'll show you more about that here in just a moment. What I want you to do is take note. We talked about this little sleeve right here. We're going to show you how to make that here right now in Bubba's Garage. It's actually really simple. You're actually going to use the window covers on the air conditioner like this. So we're going to install it, but before we do that, we're going to cut it. And where you want to cut this thing is on that first turn. So if you look at it, you got your T-cross there. You got these little, I don't know what you call them there. And then it bends in right here. Well, right there on that crease is where you want to get you some handy dandy scissors and cut right down there. And you're going to do that on both sides. Once you do that, well, hold tight. We'll show you. So we're going to measure this out roughly about there. And if we'll check right about the top, we want it to be about flush. So I'm going to cut it off to right about there. I don't think there's any particular rocket science to the exact specifications, but we're gonna cut it. All right, and we just slide this down here. So we're gonna go ahead and repeat this. We're gonna do it on the other side as well. But the last thing I want to leave you with on this particular part of the installation is if you look really close here, they actually have a silicone bead right there just to tuck that in and probably keep it in place. It might be more cosmetic than anything, but I'm not really sure. But that's we're gonna put it back the way it is. So I'm gonna move around to the other side, and then I'm gonna show you something on the bottom of this unit we took out. Okay, so if we take a look on the bottom of the one that came out, this is where the angle bracket was attached with the self tappers. We're gonna redo that, but we're gonna do it on the inside of the rig. I want to point out, if you look closely here, there's silicone seals that you're going to want to put in. And there is also on this side, there's a little dabble there. Now, it is my understanding that they're actually filling this entire area up. Now, why, I'm not sure, but that's what they're doing. So we're going to end up doing this as well, but we're going to wait until we get it into the rig before we start doing all of that. I don't want to turn the air conditioner upside down. And I don't want to mess with it with wet silicone. So we're going to go ahead and put the AC into the unit, into the rig, and then we'll start buttoning everything up.
Can't you hear it calling us? Dreaming of tomorrow, soaking up the sun. We can go and find the magic. Yeah, we could run away. We don't have to stay. We could run away.
Lesson learned number 1. We'll talk about that at the end of this episode. 103-degree temperature I just posted on Instagram and Facebook. Definitely go check it out. 103 degrees outside, and it feels like 111. It's a great opportunity to plug this air conditioner in and start getting cooled off.
Absolutely. For real.
Y'all haven't seen Bobby. There she is. She's been behind the camera. So far, the process is not too bad, but we definitely got some tips, and hopefully they will help you out. So next up, I need to do the 2 screws underneath it, do the screws on the top, and I think we'll be ready to silicone this bad boy in and get this rig cooled off. Just getting that placed in by yourself was a little bit of a booger. I'm pretty sure the folks over at Runaway could probably handle that with one hand and with their eyes closed. But this is Bubba's Garage. We're Bubbas. That's all there is to it. So next up, before we do anything else, we're gonna test fit this cover and see if this cover will actually fit with the way everything is set up right now. We may have to do some adjustments, so I'm not really sure, but it's just gonna go right on. Man, almost close. Look here. So it looks like what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to grind this down a little bit, and then that screw hole will be raised up a little bit and should fit in there fairly well, actually. We probably got lucky because this is it's the same exact model manufacturer, but it's actually 2 inches shorter in depth than the original unit. So we're gonna grind this down just a hair. We're gonna test fit that, and if that works out, we'll go to stuffing it with some turkey stuff.
Yeah, we could run
that we got that done, you see there's this gap up in here. This is a great opportunity to grab some of that foam that came in your kit, like this right here. Cut some down to fit in that crack and just stuff some turkey.
We don't have to stay, we could run away. Away, 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 away. Oh, we could run away, run away. Away, 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 away. We don't have to stay, we could run away. Away, 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 away. Oh, we could run away, run away, run away.
I got a little left over, so I'm probably going to do it again. I don't know if there's a limit or if it's really an issue on how much you need to put in there, or if any at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and stuff it in there. I got it. Why not use it, right? I'm gonna stuff it in there, get it nice and good. And guys, honestly, we are about done with this AC replacement. We got to go around into the cab and take care of mounting our wiring harness for the AC, put this cover back on, and then pretty much all you need to do is run you some silicone and seal this up really, really good, as tight as possible. All right, guys, that is how you replace your air conditioning for your Runaway camper. Lessons learned on this, it wasn't actually as bad as I expected it to be. Take your time, definitely take your time. One thing is for certain, if it wasn't for Bobby's help putting the new unit inside, I'd probably struggle a little bit, and that's just because the bracket on the bottom needs to be lined up. I didn't want to drill any new holes. I guess if you were going to drill new holes, it didn't matter. I wanted to reuse the same exact mounting holes on the bottom of that angle iron, and be able to tap new holes into the air conditioning from the bottom on the inside. So it was a little hard to hold it up a little bit, so I had Bobby do some lifting on the outside, and that helped me get the angle bracket mounted. And then I was able to secure the 2 bolts underneath. That worked out really well. I think the only other lesson learned at this point in time would be I had to shave this down. Wear some safety goggles or something like that. It is aluminum. You don't want that stuff in your face, so definitely don't follow everything that we do right here on Bubba's Garage. But I'm going to rip this down. I'm going to sand it up, clean it up, primer it up, and then repaint it black. As you notice, our rig is painted black, so I'm going to clean this up and touch it up a little bit, make it look really nice. And then we're going to silicone seal it. I actually have some black silicone that I'm going to seal it with. Last thing I want to leave you with is 2 points. 2 points. Remember, when we took this unit out, there is silicone on both the left-hand side as well as the right-hand side. So you're going to want to seal that up a little bit. And like I said, talking to Runaway, they are sealing up a little bit more around the power connector. So definitely do that. The last thing I want to leave you with is the cover, because you got to put that cover back on. You don't have to, but I highly recommend it. It'll save the life of your air conditioner, and it'll prevent a lot of rain getting in. And what you're going to do is you're pretty much going to take this and your hardware that you took off and install it over the air conditioner. Slide it over your air conditioner. Mark the spot for which those the brackets, the mounts are going to be in. Drill your holes, put that back on there. There's a lot more wiggle room in these, so you'll have a little bit of flexibility to get exactly where you need it. I think ours might be 2 inches too big, babe. I think it's about 2 inches too big. The old unit that we took out was 2 inches deeper than this unit, but I think we'll be able to make it work, and if not, we'll reach out to Runaway and we'll order another one of these things. So guys, I hope this video helps you out. Babe, did you have anything you want to add to that? You pretty much helped out here and there as well. Here, we'll do this. We'll do this. Anything you want to add? Any tips for anybody doing this themselves?
Having a second set of hands, even just on
For sure.
standby, is definitely something that I would recommend, because there are some points that taking it out, putting it in, that unit does have a little bit of awkward weight.
When I pulled
to
it out, I had to carry it, in and out, so I didn't want to drop it. I didn't want to put it down. So just be aware of that. It's actually not bad. Just be aware of it.
I mean, outside of that, I mean, it was a pretty simple, pretty easy.
I like
switch.
how the wall, the framing for the hole for the air conditioner is actually framed up really well. I like that a lot. It gives you a little bit of flexibility to be able to change your units. I think if you were going to upgrade, like a bigger unit, dimensionally, might be a little bit challenging, but then again, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think there's a little bit of wiggle room for a little bit bigger, but before you do that, you're going to want to measure that.
You're going to want to take it out.
Hole.
Take it out, measure the hole. If not, contact Runaway. They'll probably tell you the dimensions of that hole just to be safe. And guys, again, I hope this video helps you out. If you like this video, do me a favor, give us a huge, huge thumbs up. And if you really like this video and you want to stick around to find out what happens next right here in Bubba's Garage, please subscribe. Until next time, we'll see you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Dreaming of tomorrow, soaking up